What if ISAB played Kingdom Rush? That's the question we're going to be answering in today's video because I'm going to be doing some live commentary as I take on a self-imposed challenge in Kingdom Rush. Recently there was a mod released by DanQZ, which is called the AI Improvement mod. This mod aims to make all of the towers behave as a smarter, logical person should, such as having all insta-kills target the highest health enemy in the range of the insta-kill, and making it so that way artillery towers will target the densest enemy pack with their splash damage attacks, and so on. So the goal of this mod, in DanQZ's own words, is to make the game easier. Or rather, that's his metric for figuring out whether or not the AI improvement is actually an improvement. So on that note, I want to see whether or not these improvements can actually allow us to beat a record that was set by War Champion in his Min Towers challenge of one of the Kingdom Rush levels here. Because of the nature of a lot of these changes, I feel like it would be most pertinent to test them out in one of the relatively simpler levels, such as Hushwood or Bandit's Lair. By the way, if you're wondering why my map isn't complete here, it's because I had to load a different save file. The mod that he has here replaces the whole EXE of Kingdom Rush, and because of that, it means that I cannot load any sort of save slot that has more than the normal amount of Kingdom Rush like stars allowed, because it will have level data loaded in that it otherwise cannot access in this version of the EXE. So due to there being some custom levels in Kingdom Rush 1 that I've played in other Kingdom Rush mods before, I have to load this save file here, but it doesn't matter because I do have access to every single level in this save file. I just haven't beaten all of them, and I don't have access to certain heroics and irons, but we're not going to worry about that today. Instead, what I want to do is try to see if I can beat Bandit's Lair in 4 towers or less, since 4 towers was the record set by War Champion himself. And to do that, we're going to be bringing Tenchi. This is not a challenge that I'm very familiar with, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. So the first thing that I want to do is build a Ranger's Hideout. It's so cursed seeing only 2 options for towers now. I'm so used to all the mod changes that have been made. But this gets a really nice range here, so it should hopefully deal with all the trouble that comes from both this bottom lane here that goes down into the left, and this bottommost path here that just stays to the left strictly. So the main change that's been made by Poison Arrows here is that the tower itself follows like the normal targeting that it already has as a Poison Arrow change. It's kind of hard to explain that unless you already know it, but basically the default setting for Poison Arrows is that they will prioritize hitting any enemy that's closest to the exit, but also is vulnerable to being poisoned, meaning that they haven't been poisoned yet, but they still can be. So if there are no valid targets in range that meet that criteria, then they're just going to go and shoot whoever's closest to the exit. But as you see here, the way he's improved it was actually by just fixing the projectile on the Ranger's Hideout. So the projectile now flies a lot faster towards their target, so that way they don't have to worry about overkill on the poison, which I think is a pretty interesting change, and it should make it so that way the Ranger's Hideout doesn't whiff as often against these fast-moving wolf enemies here, although that still seems to be the case. So unfortunately, it may be a little bit tricky to continue defending this lane here. Yeah, as you can see there, they're actually still holding against those wargs and wolves and such, but it's making me clench, and I don't like clenching while I'm playing a video game. I prefer to be comfy and cozy. So hopefully the purchase of Wrath of the Forest will help fix that. Anyways, it looks like we're falling behind against the spiders here, so I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to keep on farming XP of Tenchi by having to block enemies outside the range of the Rain of Fire AoE. So the main thing that's good about Tenchi is that he, as a hero himself, does the most damage out of any of the Kingdom Rush 1 heroes. And thanks to that, I genuinely believe that he is a candidate for just being the strongest hero in this game, and arguably even competing with Bruxa for his usefulness. Maybe even Durax, who knows? It's gonna need a lot more testing. But one thing that I've come to realize about myself is that I tend to lowball heroes when they first are released. So all the stuff that I said about Tenchi, like ranking him like around Gerald's spot just because of his low XP, that was silly of me. In actuality, I think that he has a lot of merits, especially in these mid-tower challenges. Like I said, with the slow XP stuff, you're gonna need a situation where the hero has a lot of opportunities to gain XP. And in a mid-tower challenge, that's perfect, because you're relying on the hero to do most of the work. Now, even with the AI improvements to make stuff like insta-kills more efficient, you actually still probably want to go for a sorcerer in these levels, just because it does more damage with the basic attack. Also, let me max that out before I forget. And we're just gonna stock up on reinforcements here. I think the main goal that I need to have here is just to make sure that I handle these spiders, because I'm getting this sorcerer here, but it's actually not going to be all that good against spiders. Of course, since it's dealing not area, but it's dealing true damage over time with its attack, it is still good against pretty much anything, because the sorcerer is just that good. And that's yet another reason why it's gonna end up being better than the Arcane Wizard. That basic attack is just that good. Alright, we're gonna do that. And then I'm actually gonna let him heal a tick, not just because he can tank against this guy for longer, but also because I need someone that can deal I need to get him in range of the spears from the reinforcements. So I need someone that can deal with him more than just Tenchi. Because even though he does true damage as well, it's actually pretty low DPS compared to most of the hero roster. Alright, and then let's see, we'll get a transformation here. And then we should be able to stall this guy in range if... Okay, nope, never mind. We got no value out of that, actually, because he stunned him outside the range of the sorcerer. Yeah, Tenchi is... he very much is the Durax of this game, because he's the hardest one to use by far. And one thing that I haven't showcased yet about these changes to the mod are that you can actually place reinforcements and heroes in these mid spots that are normally blocked off. So over here, I can still bypass this. And I can even snipe enemies with the meteors from this spot as well, which is pretty handy. Okay, let's get in range of these guys with the armor debuff, and then we can do this. Alright, and then we'll do this. We go bomb attack. At least that's what it's called in the code. And then yet another AoE to deal with those guys. And we do seem to be falling behind at the moment. So I think what I'll do is get an additional tower here. And I'm actually going to get another ranger's hideout. And the reason why is because with their smarter targeting, they should actually do a really good job at handling... Oh wait, hold on. Let's move him over here. Okay, that did actually handle everything, so that's quite nice. But yeah, they should do a better job at handling more enemies than the Poison and Wrath of the Forest can normally hit at once. Just because we're using so few towers anyways that we're going to end up getting a lot of enemies in range, but also because they're shooting faster, they're not going to have as much overkill. Because normally, after a ranger shoots at an enemy, they're going to take like 2 more shots before the initial arrow shot actually lands on the enemy. And we don't want to wait that long. And if you have 2 rangers, then they're going to waste even more. They're going to waste an additional like 2 to 3 shots total. So with this faster projectile stuff, they should get the enemy poisoned faster, which should also get the... Oh, okay, that's a steam moment. But yeah, they should also get to targeting the next enemy even faster as well. So my hope is that these 3 towers here will do all of the heavy lifting for me. And since we have the Pillager now, I believe it's pertinent that we get Polymorph upgraded. And I'm just going to save the Elemental upgrades for a little bit later. For all I know, we're going to need to heal him at some point. And then let's bring Tenchi over here. And then just keep on getting XP from this. And while I technically don't need to bother with like clicking the sheep to death, because I believe this tower will handle it. No, never mind, actually. It doesn't have anything in range to trigger the Wrath of the Forest, so that's actually not going to do it. But yeah, now we have a longer lasting Tenchi buff. Unfortunately, I kind of wasted the use of that skill, but the faster I have him use the skill, the faster I can get some XP. So that has its own merits anyway. And it looks like I dealt about 200 damage to each of these Marauders, so that's also useful. Anyways, I'm going to put these guys here, and surprisingly, the Marauders are actually the more dangerous enemy to worry about compared to the single Pillager, because I can guarantee that the Polymorph is going to go to the right target. This basically just gives Polymorph the advantages that it already had in stages like Fungal Forest. And it looks like this spot is breaking. But we can actually handle this without needing to use Rain of Fire, which is pretty handy. So I'm just going to do that now, and then I can also place these reinforcements in this spot. And then we'll click this sheep to death. And yeah, looks like things are going pretty well. I need to, yeah, I think I'm going to get him out of here. So let's just move him like this. Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, and I got an achievement on this file. That's nice. And let's just dodge the Pillager attacks. Interestingly enough, the Elemental doesn't seem to have steam moments like he does on the like the All Towers mod. I wonder why that is. There must have been some other like magic that was going on behind the scenes here. But yeah, now we're just gonna hoard gold and see if we ever need to upgrade the Elemental. I specifically waited to micro Tenchi over there just in case he triggered his buff mode early. Oh, and you know what? Now that there's 30 Matrix coming, this is actually a pretty persuasive argument to upgrade the Elemental, because getting the area physical damage to deal with those guys from his extra levels might actually make a big difference here. We'll see though. And then now that he's out of that mode, we're actually going to do this. Yeah. Get him stuck in the lava there. The way this meteor spread out wasn't the most optimal. It would have been nicer if he just kept on hitting the raiders. And yeah, at this point, there doesn't really seem to be any merit to insta-calling the waves. It's just like a force of habit at this point. But yeah, we're just going to keep on relying on Tenchi's buffed mode to deal with all these spiders. Yeah, who needs the Elemental AoE when we have Tenchi AoE? It's far more effective. And then we'll trigger meteors here on these guys. Interesting targeting on that. I wonder if that's some sort of like area damage thing where it's targeting the densest. And then here we go. We do have a little bit of a problem in this case, but it does get handled, luckily. And yeah, I see some merit to dropping Rain of Fire now. So let's just get Tenchi over here, and then hopefully he won't waste his ability on... Okay, and that's fine, actually. And then, yeah, let's get him over here. And it seems like the Wrath of the Forest missed this guy, so he probably had all of the possible uses already activated on him. Now let's just hope that we get a Rain of Fire in time. Rather, an early wave in time. And then here we see Tenchi's slow walk speed working against us. But luckily nothing to worry about because we've actually got it handled. So let's use Rain of Fire here so that we don't have to worry about these guys. Yeah, there we go. And then yeah, the lava should take care of that. And oh, okay, interesting. This is actually a problem here. Yeah, I think those reinforcements are just too slow to actually kill all of the gargoyles like that, so I actually will need to come up with a better strategy. But rather than give up now or restart now, I'd like to see this through to the end and see where it takes us. Yeah, it looks like yeah, calling for Rain of Fire here does start to lead to things getting more overwhelmed, because unlike in normal gameplay where you can just use a like instantly called wave to bring in the Rain of Fire, and then you have enough firepower to deal with everything else. Oh, that is such horrible usage of the of his level 8 skill there. That's alright. That was just the first run. We can test out some more stuff with the next attempt here. So, I'm a pretty big fan of this Rangers Hideout spot, but I'm not sure if I like the spot after that. I actually think that there's too much overlap here, so I believe that there's more merit to spreading the towers out even further. So just go like this. From what I saw there, it seems like the Rangers Hideout doesn't actually like synergize that well with a second Rangers Hideout, despite what I was trying to say about the poison arrows. So we'll just go ahead and keep them separated like we would in normal gameplay here. But I definitely think that the AI improvements have made a huge difference. The insta-kill alone should speak for itself. Like, we just don't have pillagers on that part of the map anymore. And actually, instead of going for another Rangers Hideout, there might actually be some merit to going for another Sorcerer instead, just because we have those Raiders there that I kept on having to deal with Tenchi. So it might be easier just to have a source of magic damage to stack with the 2 damage, and then that should take care of all the problems that we're having there. Plus, it should help us against the Pillager that was spawning on that wave that I had to restart on, because it will have the insta-kill for it, and then the insta-kill should also be good against the Raiders as well. It will just be slightly more efficient at killing them faster, which is something that we want. So let's just do the same thing as before, because it was working, at the beginning at least, and then we'll modify the strat afterwards. One thing that I'm going to do to try to maximize his XP, well, other than right now, because I need to use the AoE on those bandits there, is to try to not call the waves early. It's not like I need the extra gold from that anyway, and I definitely don't want to fall into the trap of relying on the cooldowns. Oh yeah, it looks like the Marauder here is a goner. We just need 2 basic attacks, because those deal true damage. But that enemy doesn't have enough armor that his buffed attack isn't still very powerful against them. But yeah, because you need a lot of firepower from the hero due to not having many towers at your disposal, and she's actually great for this. Whereas the other hero that I had at number 1 originally, who now I think has been pretty confidently dethroned by Tenchi, was Ignis for the opposite reasons. He actually is super duper good because he levels up so quickly that he helps carry the early game. So in normal play, it's actually quite a bit more optimal for that kind of stuff. And also the fact that even at high level, he's significantly more powerful than most of the other heroes when they get to level 10. Like, you can spend all this effort into getting Magnus to level 10 just for him to still be weaker than Ignis at level 10, which is kind of sad. Anyways, I'm just going to move Tenchi over here and then try to farm like the smallest inkling of additional XP from the meteors here. You know, every bit counts. And I'm going to go ahead and get the Sorcerer in this spot like before. It would be nice to get it over here so that way the range actually covers that curve there. But in actuality, I believe that having this here to help deal with the boss will be more useful, since the Kingpin might actually be a problem this time around. Anyways, let's use an early Rain of Fire. And then we're going to just farm XP on these spiders here. I probably over-defended against them. And maybe not, actually. But I definitely messed up here because I have these stacked reinforcements, and then I'm blocking all of the spiders outside the range of them. And now we have all this stuff spawning, but Tenchi does take care of it. And now there's actually a reason to pull this wave early because I messed up earlier there. But yeah, let's get this going, and then we're going to Rain of Fire this spot, and then we're going to bring Tenchi over here. And interestingly enough, it seems like the Ranger's hideout is falling just due to not having the Wrath of the Forest, so it looks like I started to make variations in the strategy a little bit too early. And luckily the reinforcements are strong enough that we take care of all that. But yeah, we need to max that out pretty quickly now. And then let's get our buffed Tenchi. Come on, do area damage, please. Blocks. And yeah, I shouldn't have tried to micro him like that because now he doesn't get the 3rd hit out. But this is fine. We can get this Sorcerer here. Well, once he's available and all that. And then my mistake there, I shouldn't have been looking away from Tenchi. Gotta get some more XP on him. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do to optimize this, but I'm not doing this for like a really, really hardcore sort of like challenge attempt here. This is more of just a casual experimenting with a mod thing because it's not like a modded challenge has as much merit as a challenge in the vanilla game anyway. This is more just a way of controlling the environment, so that way I can see what the AI improvement mod actually does. Because if we can actually beat the record of 4 towers by using only 3 in order to beat this challenge, or beat this level, then it will have proven him right, Dan QZ I mean, about making the mod, or making the game easier through the improvements made in the mod. Alright, so we'll just buff him up, and then thanks to this, he should get enough XP that he fully heals with the level up. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And then we'll just get this here, and then Rain of Fire. We can let those spiders spawn for now, and then still be able to handle it with our buffed elemental. I think we still want to get enemies in range of the sorcerer, just so that we can damage them. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what I like to see. Yep. It seems like the default mage targeting has actually overridden the sorcerer, or maybe I'm just seeing things here. Okay, that was one of the worst meteors that Tenchi could have ever done. Oh, okay, you know what? The thing that I was saying earlier about the like weird, what I want to call a steam moment that was happening with the elemental, that does still seem to be occurring here. Of course, now when I actually care about it, now it's a problem. Oh boy, Tenchi's walk speed. Okay, let's bring this over here. And then we're actually going to Rain of Fire this side, so that way we can handle this part over here. And then I'm not going to bother moving Tenchi, I just need him to get out of that form right away, so that he can come back over here. Yeah, good. Oh, he's blocking the the pillager. Not good. Oh gosh. Yep, not a good time for that to happen, but we can still handle this. In fact, yeah, we'll snipe him, and then we'll spin to win. Good. Since we're still holding, I'm gonna wait and see if Tenchi needs to trigger another meteor before we Rain of Fire here. Nope, never mind. Yeah, we'll do that. And then I need to do this. Yeah, perfect. And I did not need to do that though. Oh well. Here, let's buff him up. And then please engage in with an enemy in melee combat already. Thank you. And yeah, it seems like this part is not holding, so we're gonna have to Rain of Fire this actually. Yeah, I should have made that decision a little bit sooner. It looks like you'd have to replay the level. Alright, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to replay the level if I want to get that just right. Because yeah, I would need the Rain of Fire. Oh yeah, I would need the Rain of Fire up here. So I'd have to, yeah, I would just have to come back and try this yet another time in order to make sure that the Rain of Fire meters go to the right location. But anyways, let's see if this ends up holding anyway. If we can at least like beat the level. So we'll just take those losses there, including the sheep. Oh, never mind, it's a loss anyway. But I don't mind putting in the effort for an additional attempt just to see where this takes us. And then yeah, we'll put these guys here. And then hopefully we can get a transformation. And then yeah, get extra damage. Very good. Yes. Good. Not the best, but good enough. And then we'll get our... Oh yeah, damage those guys. And then come over here so that we can keep on dealing with them. We'll get the buff form soon enough. And I think, yeah, we need a Rain of Fire now. Unfortunately, no random meteors to help out. That's pretty unlucky, actually. But luckily, these guys clutch up. Wow, yeah, that never happens in the difficulty mods. Just because all the enemies are so fast and strong now that, like, you just cannot rely on reinforcements to do stuff for you. Okay, that's good. We'll let the lava take care of that. And then, yeah, we're about to fall behind now. So this is a bit unfortunate. But hopefully Tenchi can still handle everything. Come on, don't waste shots on that thing. You know, I just had a thought, but it's a bit too late to do that now. But I could have moved the elemental over to this side. That probably would have handled everything for me. All right, let's not worry about waiting for enemies to get in the lava and just kill everyone. That way we get the XP and then get out of here. Yeah, okay. I do like that a lot more. And then yeah, don't waste shots. Okay, the elemental is body blocking the sheep, so I can't click on it. That's funny. Okay, we'll do that, and then we're gonna fire here, just so that way these guys aren't a problem. And then we need to trust. Yeah, okay, I do see the problem here. We I think we need the tower that we're getting back here to be over here instead, just to spread out our firepower more. It could also be the Ranger's hideout instead. I think that might make life easier, but the Pillager is going to need more firepower to deal with him. So that's going to take a little bit of trial and error, unfortunately. And these levels have no fast forward or anything like that. These games were not made for you to do challenge runs in them, basically, because if something's hard in the end game, like mid towers, you have to you have to trudge through all of the waves all over again just to go back to trying it out again. Oh man, that's why I think these games could do with some save states or just some sort of quality of life changes, but Ironhide will never do it. They'll just keep on doing the bare minimum. Yeah, okay. In the interest of time, I'm actually going to just do a couple of these things off camera, so that way I can see if anything interesting happens, and then just start recording from there. But otherwise, I don't want to waste a bunch of storage space on my computer when I could otherwise just play it in a more focused state rather than doing live commentary anyway. So I'll come back to you guys when I think I have something impressive to showcase. I'm back now with a 5x speed recording of my attempt where I actually did manage to beat the level with only 3 towers. So I believe the goal of the mod was met by making it so that way the AI changes are an actual improvement to the tower's performance because of the fact that we were able to beat War Champion's record of 4 towers on this by only having built 3. Now, I actually think that this could be further optimized because you'll see at the end of the run that the second Ranger's hideout that I ended up getting did not really help at all. Like I guess it has some merits against the flying enemies and such, so I can't really knock it for that. But you'll see that the reason why it leaks lives is because its ability just does not hold up against the threats that we have to face, which really sucks because I actually specifically got it for that reason and it failed completely. But you'll see eventually. The other optimizations that I made to this were just moving the sorcerer one spot to the right. Turns out that even though I doubted it, it's actually far better because the earlier polymorphs are so much earlier for the pillagers on the top part of the map. So that makes a huge difference. There's no loss against the spiders because, as you'll see, we actually need Tenchi and the reinforcements to do all of the heavy lifting against those things. So I actually believe that the Arcane Wizard might have more merits here, but I needed to call it a night for the time being, so I didn't get to attempt with that tower yet. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about while I have everybody here is that I actually started a Patreon, and it's not for me, it's actually for my uncle, who unfortunately had a stroke recently despite not being that old. So that was pretty scary. I've never had a major health issue with anyone in the family before, so that was a pretty frightening and traumatic experience for me. But I don't want your sympathy for me. I'd appreciate any help that you guys can offer to him. So I made the Patreon with the goal of donating 100% of the money made from that to him, and anyone that wants to give that sort of support, I would give them a personalized thank you message, either on Discord, if I know what your account is called, or through the Patreon service itself, if I can't find your account on Discord. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. No pressure. There's no obligation to donate. I know there's plenty of people that suffer all sorts of misfortune, so it's not like, he's special in that sort of way, but he's special to me. So I thought I'd at least put that out there in case anyone would want to help. And eventually, when he makes a complete recovery, or as complete of a recovery as he can get, I'll switch the Patreon to being for me, and I'll let everybody know about that in a video. So I guess that means that you are forced now to watch every video that I make in order to see if there's an update to what the Patreon is about. in case your decision on the donation depends on that. But anyways, going back to the level itself, the Kingpin here is such a pushover that I can completely ignore him. I have to ignore him anyways because I need to focus on the spiders. So I burst all those things down. You see there, the Ranger's hideout just completely fails to stop all of those guys. So that's why I'm wondering if another tower would do the job. Maybe the Tesla, although it's not been buffed by the AI improvements at all. So that would be kind of unfortunate if it still ended up reigning supreme, I suppose. But yeah, Kingpin gets blasted. GG.